Magic Guy Show. I'm your host, Sean, and I'm going to be taking you guys through a spicy little number here. I think this is going to be better for this interface. So this is a deck that's kind of near and dear to the show. We've worked on this deck together for a number of times. So in this latest edition, one of the cool things among other editions such as things like the Triome, which allow us to greedily splash some number of Jaces. I'm only running one right now, but I could see there being two copies. I've actually borrowed some ideas. I saw a couple of Mardudu Reanimator lists make 4 1s and 5 0s in recent history. So I did borrow some of the technology from those lists. Not so much their sideboards, but definitely card for card some of the split of like their reanimation spells and such. Merchant's great. I was running more copies, but I've slimmed on it in lieu of more things like Axe and Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize, in a last-ditch effort, you can use it on yourself to pitch one of the reanimation targets. So our reanimation targets are primarily Iname, but also Obsidat, Jace Vryn's Prodigy, Torgar, Pitlord, Kuro, Pitlord. Hey, what's up, Jade? How's it going? So essentially what's going on is we've got this really nice split of a robust split of threats. Now, what's cool about our take on the deck versus, so a lot of what these other Mardu, and I'm not trying to say that what we're doing is better necessarily, but I like that our strategy is more flexible post-board should we be hit with graveyard hate. Certain types of graveyard hate, because Bloodghast, for example, can still just be hardcast. Now, hardcasting a 2/1 that can't block, that might have haste, that's not great, right? But it is better than having a Grizzlebrand or extra Obsidats stuck in your hand. The other two lists that I saw, they had a full suite of 4 Obs, 4 Grizzlebrand. I'm not saying that that's the worst deck. I think they have a more robust, powerful plan, perhaps game 1. And certainly hardcasting Iname is not great. It's a 4/4. It's very disappointing. I wish that the creature itself, this is just an enabler. It's just a tutor basically. I wish that Iname itself was a lot better. A 6-mana 4/4 is laughable, right? It's here because once you get one of them into the bin, so one Iname is going to get all the other Inames that are still in the deck into the graveyard, in addition to an Obsidat ready to be reanimated and a Kuro Pitlord ready to sweep the board. The Kuro is actually very integral to the strategy. The Kuro Pitlord has a very important ability. He says, don't worry about the upkeep cost. It's not usually a big deal with this creature unless we use the Unburial Rites on it. The Goryo's Vengeance and the Footsteps of the Goryo, it's not a big deal. So pay 1 life, target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. So you can basically, for some amount of life, wipe out all of their blockers. You don't necessarily need to clear the whole table. All I want to do with this card is just clear out their blockers. That art's pretty horrific, isn't it? But clear out all of my opponent's blockers if they have any, and smash in with Kuro and the army of Bloodghasts. So there's a lot of setup involved, but it's actually pretty cool because, sure, we're giving up the potential to... I'm much less interested in the Obsidat, actually. So I think that missing out on Grizzlebrand, and I thought about running some number of Grizzlebrands anyway, I think missing out on the Grizzlebrands does matter sometimes, and I have played a few different versions. Let's just go ahead and go to a league with this. I've tested this quite a bit on my own time. I feel pretty confident in this split of reanimation targets. In the Iname package instead of a split of Obsidat and Grizzlebrands. I do think that that's a strong way to play the deck, and I don't discredit it. I think it could be possibly the better way to do it, but I like being a little greedy and doing something a little different. So some of the advantages of the Iname package over the Grizzlebrand package would be that we're guaranteed to get the 4 Bloodghasts, more or less, unless you've drawn some of the Bloodghasts leading up to reanimating Iname. I also like that once we have reanimated Iname, We're so much more likely to draw lands to bring back the Bloodghast. We're also much more likely to draw gas. We're not going to be drawing the Inames. We're not going to be drawing the Kuro, the Obsidat. They're already where I want them to be. They're in the graveyard. So we're much more likely to draw gas. It's funny. After we do this, our deck is potentially, you know what, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're about 10 cards lighter after we do the reanimation. So there's some significant pseudo card advantage in the fact that our top decks are much more alive after we do the reanimation. So we're that much, we're a sixth, you know, a sixth, 1/6 higher to see the reanimation spells. Another knock to this is, well, but Bruce By, you might say, Grizzlebrand sets up another reanimation. That's true. And I think that we just don't have room so much for the Grizzlebrands. Maybe like where the Jace is, maybe where the Torgar is. I've been playing around with those last 2 card slots. So I do think a 2 of Grizzlebrand might still be what this deck wants. But I think it's kind of cool that I only really need to run 1 Obsidat in this build, the Iname build. I really only need 1. I think a second could be fine because the first one might get toasted by a removal spell. So maybe a second Obsidat might still be something that this Iname Death Aspect version of this Mardu Reanimator might want. But other than that, it actually grinds quite well. You'll see that my sideboard is running quite a few grindy cards. I've got some more legends that are just more matchup specific in the sideboard to perhaps reanimate with Goryo's Vengeance. Pia and Kira Nalaar being the better one because you get to keep the Thopters. Calidus, it's like if we reanimate and block and eat something, we get to keep the token. Calidus also has a lot of natural synergy for our deck since we're already a 4 of Bloodghast list. So there are some things about this list I like a lot. What's up, Arthur? How's it going? How are you doing, friend? So a lot of things I like about the list, and of course I'm biased. I've been playing this archetype for some time, so it's easy for me to close my Facebook so we don't get noise in the background. Sorry about that, folks. But it's just a fun deck to play. I don't think that it's, you know, competitive or anything of that nature. It's fun. It certainly can be. We got a 4-1 with a build close to this build last stream, believe it or not. We're going to mulligan this hand for obvious reasons. This hand's not much better. I mean, I might want to throw it back and get a 5. Like, sure, my opponent's keeping 7, but it's like we kind of need our deck to do the thing game 1. Like, this hand looks like it's much more likely to do the thing. I can actually, and I will, throw back both the Obsidat and the Bloodghast. That's kind of the cool thing about this list is I really would rather tutor for these game 1, Obsidat and Bloodghast. So I'd much rather throw these back and just keep Double Thoughtseize Channeler and just stick this and protect this, remove the ways that they might remove this. So I'm going to keep here and just put both of those back. I think I'm just going to go basic Swampy here. Sure, there's a Singleton Jace in the main deck, but it's kind of more so there to be Goryo's, not so much hardcast. It will be hardcast from time to time off the trio. But I think I just want to... I mean, like, sure, we're running Seasoned Pyromancers, but I need a 3rd land anyway, and there's only the Godless Shrine that's going to screw us up to get to 2nd red source for these 3 of Seasons. You'll notice I am rocking a Soul Patch. Do you like it? I am rocking the Soul Patch. Oh boy, we're playing against the Lantern deck. I've seen a few people rocking this, by the way, which is so cool to see. Probably just take Ancient Stirrings. I don't care about the other things so much. I do care about Whir because it would result in them maybe getting a Grafdigger's Cage. They have 1 main deck Grafdigger's Cage, but I can just grab that off the 2nd Thoughtseize, and there's no rush to grabbing it. I have some time. I could just slam the Channeler and we can Thoughtseize later. Get these going. These Channelers have been great. Actually, in one of the earlier versions, I think the version of our deck that actually 4-1'd wasn't actually running these, as crazy as that sounds. It's just such a great card for what we're doing. I know, hard to believe. Trophy? Okay. Ooh, you know what? I actually should have... Oh, we didn't know about the Assassin's Trophy at the time when I searched out the swamp, did we? So unfortunately, those are my only two basics, so they kind of get us there. We don't get the extra land. Oh, the Lightning Axe we can easily pitch, and anyway. That stinks that we didn't know what our opponent was on. We didn't know that we would want to not grab the basic. And maybe I should be greedy because there's plenty of decks with Path to Exile, for example. I hope they don't have Tormod's Crypt because this Thoughtseize won't work if they have Tormod's. Okay, so they have double Whir, so that's unfortunate. I think I still want to take a Whir versus Witchbane. And I'm not interested in the Lightning Axe. I'd rather have something else. So unfortunately here, this is the spot where I kind of wish that I was running a Blue Shock. I can't actually get to this Jace. And it won't... The thing about Channeler is it won't stay in my exile. It's just until the end of that turn. You may play this card this turn. Then they're exiled forever. So I'm actually going to pick the Black Cleave because we know we can't do the Jace here. It's unfortunate it happens. But this gives me something else to pitch to Channeler next turn. And this is not, I mean, like, granted, this is a mulligan to 5, and we're only going to be able to do so much with that. I feel like I'd play the Inventor's Fair here. Maybe not. Maybe not. Still digging for fuel here. Let's pitch this Marsh Flats. There's a Lightning Bolt we could cast. Might as well. Oh, no, we can't. What am I saying? They just played the Witchbane Orb here. But, so I guess I should have taken the land, but that's okay. I don't know why I didn't think about the Witchbane. Now, their list is playing Thopter Sword. They're playing... I actually just watched Fluffy Wolf playing this exact same list. Maybe not card for card, especially, you know, in the sideboard, but pretty much card for card I was looking at this list. Pitch this Kuro. Oh, I'm very concerned that they're just going to shut out my graveyard right here, by the way. So, I mean, this is way too long of a game than we... Oh, I should have played the Bloodstain. Mire, that's free. This is probably Whir for 1. Go get Graph Diggers. Make this a sad boy. Oh, are they getting Bridge? That's great for us, potentially. Oh, okay. That's another way to make us sad boys. Actually, I'm going to hold this so that we have something to pitch to the Chandler. So, no, they're just going to turn off my ETB. Okay. Graveyard's still live. There's the Urza. We're afraid of that. But you don't get your dude. Okay. They do have Inventor's Fair. I mean, it looks like they're working off the top. I mean, so are we. So let's Channeler away this Bloodstained Mire. There's a Bolt. That lets us get in. They can't block in this case. They shouldn't block. And I don't know if I want to play the Godless Shrine. The only reason I would play this is I want to build up to be able, like, if I do top deck Obstat, that I can cast it. But Obstat's not all that great with the Torpor Orb. I mean, a 5/5 is good against their board at the moment, but I think we're going to lose this one, folks. Our mulligan to 5 wasn't quite bursty enough. It looked like it was going to be good between the double Thoughtseize Channeler. We just never really got anything going. Okay. That's kind of a miss. Is this Bridge? Trophy? Channeler's down. I feel like this is also only their 2 main deck trophies, by the way, going off of yeah, the Torpor Orb actually hurts us quite a bit. Like, this wouldn't do its thing. Might play this. No blocks. They have respect for the Bolt. That I might have more bolts. Although they're gaining life each turn with the Inventors. I can't imagine we're going to win from this point. So against Lantern, it's a little tough because... Well, it's just a tough matchup for us probably. But, oh, Kaya seems good. Just to hit a lot of their 3s. But, Plague Engineer turns off Thopter Sword. We might care about that. Being able to turn off that with also something that beats down is kind of nice. We could go after their graveyard even. I'd rather not. I'd rather just go after... I'd rather we have threats that go after what their deck's doing, such as Kaya, Plague Engineer. They're going to be able to fight our graveyard shenanigans quite efficiently, but we might not have enough speed on them to move into... Against Lantern, I don't know if I want to move into grind territory. I know they have things like Surgical and such post-board, unfortunately for us, but these axes are pretty bad. The bolts aren't great either. They don't answer Urza. I mean, like, axes do, but... and Urza is a problem, but I don't know. We could even look up the list if we wanted to. It's a public list at this point. Yeah, it's cool that this has been popping up in Modern again. Play the Abrade. Oh, for sure we're going to play the Abrade. We got a little bit of time to think. We've got a minute and 21. So, they have Cling to Dust, Spellbomb, 2 Ashioks, and Unmoored. They have Leyline. All of these things work against us, unfortunately. However, I don't know if we can trim our hand hate, and I don't know if we can trim our graveyard plan. The fact that we see a playset of, like, if we wanted to keep in the hand hate, we'd have to consider running the Feed the Swarms. They hit both Urza and they also hit the enchantment. I actually think we need to keep in our Obsidat plan. Not Kuro, I don't think. Let's play Obs. Let's keep in the Iname package. Let's cut Jace. He's a little slow. Although, maybe not. Maybe not. But I think the hand hate's not really worth it against an opponent playing that many ley lines in their sideboard. And again, I don't know if that's my opponent's exact sideboard, right? We don't know. This fights that. I might still just need to run the Thought Seizes. If we're running those, maybe we play a feed. Yeah. I'll play one Feed the Swarm. Hits both Urza. If they do have ley lines, hits a ley line. This hand seems okay. It's not anything special, but at least we can maybe keep a 7. Alright. Show me ley line. Yeah, big loss for sure. We want double ley line. For sure. Could always Thought Seize myself here right now. We're going to use the Pyromancer. It's just like, I feel like our deck can't not run the Thought Seizes, though, because they're so flexible for us, right? They either, in an emergency, we use them on ourselves to dump the target. I'm going to go get our Tri-Land, because we did leave Jace in. I'm going to go get our Triome, I think. Oh, that's unfortunate we drew exactly something that... So what's Pyromancer going to dump into the bin? He's going to dump the... Like, if I want to get the Bloodghast online sooner, obviously I'm making myself vulnerable to some types of graveyard hate by doing this. If I put the Bloodghast in the graveyard now, when I go to play the Swamp and play the Pyromancer, we'll get the Bloodghast in off of this Swamp versus it coming in a turn later than that. And we don't already have the Reanimate spell. I might actually do this just to get the Bloodghast attacking a turn earlier. We couldn't have gotten the Bloodghast out this turn because I led on the Triome, right? So we didn't have a black source. This is blue, red, white. I don't think it's that big a deal that we... The only card in my hand that I'm a little sad to show is really just the Guile. You know... That's really the big thing I'm giving up by trying to get the Bloodghast attacking a turn sooner is just the information. It's a Torgar for us. Talisman for them. Oh, this in a million years, right? Or not a million years. I would never choose to play against this obscure variant of Lantern. Oh, maybe it's less and less obscure though. I mean, I saw it on stream and now I'm seeing it being played, so maybe it's not so obscure anymore. Yes, bring this back. Red, red, red. Or red, red, black. Pyromancer, Dumpster. These two probably. Chandler. Okay, Thoughtseize coming up. They'll let us have that. What's up, Raccoon One? How's it going, friend? How you doing? Yep, mill themselves. There's a Pixis. You know what? Have they missed land drops like crazy? Yeah, they're missing land drops like pretty crazy. There's one. Needle Magmatic Chandler that they haven't seen yet. Darn it. They hadn't seen it yet, but they saw it game one. Alright, so what can we do or not do? I mean, Chandler is just a threat. We'll definitely play our fetch swing for 5. Seems good. Or 6, excuse me. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Excuse me. Swing for 6. Much better than 5. Potentially. I don't really want to draw a land. If I fetch, though, they're going to make me not draw. If I were to draw something juicy, they have 2 mills ready to go. We could fetch. I mean, what I really want to see on the top is like more Bloodghasts, right? So I guess we should fetch and just hope to see more. I fetch and all I see is a yep. There's a Goryo's Vengeance on the top. We're not going to get that either, I imagine. We should probably just make our... I don't know, do they have Urza in hand? We have no idea, right? Oh, yeah, we didn't get to see their hand because they have Leyline. You haven't played Modern in forever? What have you been up to, Raccoon One? What have you been playing, friend? This is a problem. If I make the... Our clock isn't changed, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, they have to have removal spell here or they're just dead. So I think we just hang tight. Lots of lands. There's a Kaya. Smash in? Do you let me kill you? Just some EDH? Cool, man. Looks like they do have the removal. Oh man, we didn't bring in the explosives. Explosives are pretty good in this matchup for sure. Sorry, I think I wasted a little bit of our clock time on... I don't even really want to fight that battle, by the way. Like I was saying earlier, once we saw from their list, right, we saw the playset of Leyline of Sanctity in their sideboard, and then, I mean, they just confirmed it for us. Like, I think this is exactly this list. In fact, that is their name. That's who we're playing against right now, Angel Lufa. So, I'm not going to bother with the Thought Seizes, and then, therefore, I don't think fighting over 4 ley lines with 2 Feed the Swarm is worth it either. I mean, we could still run some axes, right? We could still run some axes. They hit both Urza and they hit Spellskite. What else do they hit in this list? There's Send Triplets. This is fun. They're playing Send Triplets. Notion Thief. There's some spicy creatures that they could be thinking about sideboarding into. I do technically draw a bunch of different cards. I do lots of draw discard. So, I mean, maybe we want to run these. I'm technically cutting discard outlets when I cut Thought Seizes, by the way, so we may want to keep these axes in. The cool thing about this Bloodghast build of this list versus the other builds of this, of a Mardudu Reanimator style of deck in Modern, is I can always blast my own Bloodghasts for little loss, right? It's just, I just need another land or a fetch land to get them back, so, potentially. So, these... I mean, again, like Brutality, the problem with Brutality is it's all target stuff, and I may not be able to escalate to... I mean, we could use this as our dump, We could still play the brutalities because there are modes on these. But the problem is I have to have a creature. So you might be in the same boat with the lightning axe where I have to aim this at my own creatures. But if they don't have the ley lines, I feel much better about brutalities than I do the thought seizes, probably, right? This is a better way to get things in the bin. I don't know, like it's because this could, while it's binning things for us, it might also hit a whir. So why don't we do that? We'll play one axe because it does have targets. Let's run it back. Hopefully we get to do the Reanimator thing, but it's hard against Lantern to do it. I mean, they just have a lot of fuel. I can't really keep this hand. It's tempting because it's got like the Gorios with the target. No dump. One lander. They quickly keep 7, it looks like. So we're going to mulligan. This hand's fine, perhaps. We'll probably put the Obstat back. Might go get our Tri-land, since we don't have a turn 1 play, perhaps. Stirring, so good. So good that you get to play this in Modern. It's great for their deck. They get to run fewer lands, helps them find some of their eggs, or some of their rocks. It's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, like this is, I hate to say it, it's like, yes, this is not a great matchup because they have main deck Graveyard Hate and they have ways to get to it pretty consistently. That doesn't mean we can't win, but it's just unfortunate that this is round 1 for us. But we lost one game the last time we played something close to this, and we ended up with a 4-1. A lot of people's sideboards are relatively ready for Dredge, so you know I expect to be. I expect to lose percentage points against a lot of the same things that hate on Dredge. Lantern can hate on Dredge, certainly is able to hate on us. So, but like I don't have enough stuff that's fast enough to beat them that I can really shift into our plan B. We're kind of shifted into our plan B, sort of, you can see here. And we get to save a lot of space because the hand hate's not, a lot of the time, not effective due to the ley lines. We don't really need the axes and the bolts. So that's a lot of slots. So we have been able to sideboard a lot of cards. Anyway, Chandler. This card's great. This card's pretty great. Bridge, sure. Go for it. Yeah, and all our different artifact hate is in and everything. There's a Torgar. Probably dump that pretty easily. There's an Iname we're not ready for. There's lots of spots where the Chandler feels awkward. I don't disagree. I honestly, I think I might just dumpster both of our lands here, get a little greedy, because like 4th land turns on Pia. I'd like to keep this gas. Yeah, there's our 4th land. Sure. So we're very easily here going to get to Channeler the Bloodghast. That's easy peasy. Street. Neither of these are all that great. We still have lands in the deck, so I'll probably go with Mesa. Still lands to find. I think even we want to get the Mom Pop Thopter Shop on the table here. I think we're going to get Pia and Kieran Alar in. I mean, like, there's something to be said to having 2 active channelers, but I think the 4 power with the reach for these, they do run some hand hate, don't they? I thought they did. Yeah, they do. They run, well, just only 2 Thought Seize, but it would stink to lose this sideboard card to a Thought Seize. They'd have to top deck it. They probably would have played it already if they had it. But we'll play this for mana efficiency's sake. We can play this next turn. Swing them 2. See, I feel like we're just attacking way too slowly if I can't get our graveyard shenanigans going. Like Torgar would have put them to 3 if we have a Bloodgat. If we had a Goryo's Vengeance. Shredder Pixis, sure. Another Bloodghast. Take the explosives. I think we want to go after the it's pretty obvious, right? We want to go after the bridges, probably, to the point where I know we lose the Pyromancer in the process, but I don't want to get stuck under these. I also don't want them to be able to untap and be able to go whir for a welding jar. So we might be popping this turn. Yeah, give me this Bloodghast. We might be popping this now so that they don't have the opportunity to do what I just described as an out to losing both bridges, which would be whir for welding jar, regenerate target artifact. So we might want to just go ahead and pop this here. Even though, yes, they could have a third. It's more likely that they only run 3 bridges. These builds, they run 3 bridge. Yeah. So I get it that whir beats us either way, right? Like whir either gets the final bridge or it gets welding jar and protects. I'd rather just take out the 2 bridges. Sure, they can get it back with Shredder, but I think I want to do this now. But yeah, it's tough because it doesn't really beat a whir. Or we just win the match and we beat a deck that's totally supposed to smash us. Like, that has to be one of the tougher matchups for us because we don't get to cheese them game 1, right? They had Torpor Orb. They certainly, if we played that first game out, they certainly would have started to have Graveyard Hate. Let's switch scenes. Wow. I'm really, really excited that we still took that game because that is not a favorable matchup. That is, we do not want to be playing against that deck. So that's nice that we get to steal a win against a deck that is designed to beat decks like ours. This hand looks great. We've got a Reanimate target. We've got a Vengeance. We've got a discard outlet or 2. This is a Snap Keep. I'm going to lead on the Triome, I think. So we could turn to this Jace. It just depends on what they're up to over there. This is one of the most fun Reanimator style lists I've gotten to play in recent memory. This list is a lot of fun. Street Wraith. Helping us out. Like I said, opponents helping us out here. Yeah, so they're playing Hollow One. We should see a Hollow One for my opponent, right? I mean, they're doing it wrong if they don't play Hollow One here, right? If they don't have one. Thanks for coming to the Bruce By channel, folks. There's a whole lot of great Magic content out there on the internet, and yet you decided to pick us and come hang with us. Thank you so much for that. I hope things are going well for you guys. Wow, they didn't have the Hollow One. That's great news for us. That's fantastic. Do we want to Thoughtseize, or do we just want to get the Jace going? Kind of just want to get the Jace going. Kind of just want to get my Planeswalker going. Sure, there's like fancy tactics we can do where we get to bouncy the Jace against a blocker. Like, that's what I was thinking I would be doing if they had gotten a Hollow One out. I would be using the Jace here to... Oh, wait, or I'm just misplaying. I don't have enough stuff in my graveyard yet. Oh, boy. Thanks for that follow. Welcome to the show, Mystical. Welcome to the Bruce By Show. I almost made a big misplay. So we were going to use a black source. Like, the alternate play... I can't believe I wasn't thinking about my graveyard size here. The alternate play is to Thoughtseize them and stop them from doing more things. Seems good to me. And if they do play a threat, we can Lightning Axe it. So this is fun. This is a really important card to their strat. Honestly, though, they only have 1 land. They really need to be able to unearth this Pyromancer. And we just hope that they whiff on land and don't get the Goblin Lore off. because the lore might dumpster the Bloodghasts. So I'm pretty sure I have to unearth so they can't do the Pyromancer. Because that's guaranteed. They may still hit... They may still hit land or another unearth. Sure. Like that they're using the classic ones. These look nice. They did have another Street Wraith in their hand, so they are going to do that here. And they do find their land, so they are going to get to lore. And it's only them that does this. Only they are along for the ride. Now, I kind of hope that they do maybe play one hollow one. It's pretty that it's the old, got the old border for artifacts. We do get to toast this here, which is pretty satisfactory. I do think I want to dump the Torgar because I can put them to basically dead. I'll show you something really cool about this list of ours. So I'm going to kill this, and I'm going to put them to nearly dead. I want you to see how our deck can do that. I think I do it because I put them to 10, then I put them to nearly dead. That seems right. Who here's with me? We put them to nearly dead, right? Yeah, let's not, we're not going to get cute with Jace. We put them to nearly dead. I like it. So we're going to come in, we're going to target them, push them to half their life total. We swing, put you to 1. Seems right to me. Something about this feels right. See, I knew we were right about you, Torgar. We are going to lose him here, but now they have to fight a Bloodghast and then another Bloodghast in my hand. They need, like, exactly Young Pyromancer. They need land Young Pyromancer here, right? Or, I mean, Double Bolt prolongs the inevitable, right? We're not playing this other... I did need a second Black Source if you're wondering why I played this out. Maybe it was wrong to do it here because they might blast this. Maybe I didn't need to play... Okay, we have, like, the same exact hand. That's funny. So they need another hollow one here because they just need blockers. We win. Cool. Hey, yay for nearly dead. Hey, we one graveyard deck deserves another. Oh, I do like Kuro in this matchup. I don't like Obsidat as much. It's not really a mid-range match. It's the same reason why I'm going to cut Jace. I like how Torgar and Kuro Pit Lord just kill them. That's what we want to be doing. Unburial Rites is also a little slow. We might cut that. I don't need to be as grindy with these Pyromancers. I think they're going to grind better than we will, even if I transformational sideboard us. I think they just grind better than we do. That's that deck's main game plan. I like the Abrades because they kill both their 1-drop and they also kill their hollow ones. And it also hits like Nile Spell Bombs and other things that they're going to be using to fight our graveyard shenanigans. We're the graveyard deck. Let's cut these brutalities. We're the graveyard deck. That doesn't mean I shouldn't run my graveyard stuff. Rakdos Charm's great because it hits both a hollowed one or it stops their graveyard shenanigans. They're also a Bloodghast deck. I think our hand hate's fine. I think our removal's fine. I might cut the Merchant. It's just kind of a filler card. Don't want the feeds. Don't want the explosives either. Plague Engineer is actually not bad here. Our opponent showed us that they have Bloodghasts of their own. This can also block and trade with the hollow one, so I like that it hits multiple different things in their deck. Why don't we try out the Plague Engineer? That's a new addition to our sideboard. 2 cards. We could run the Guile and the Orzhov. Sorry, we could run both of our Kaya cards. Could even run the Calidus. I mean, there's a lot of things we could be running here. Like I said, we're not going to win the grind match. So maybe I cut the Pyromancer. I don't think I want rights. We're not going to win the grind, right? We want to come out of the gates quickly again. Maybe shut off their graveyard stuff too, but certainly we got to come out of the gates quickly. Got to be able to kill hollow ones. Also, Feed the Swarm is a horrible way to kill hollow one. We take 5. So no thank you. No thank you. So, and we don't do anything weird like take out the Raugrin Triome when I sideboard out the Jace, the Singleton Jace. The greediest card in my list is this Jace Friend's Prodigy. But dipping into the 4th color is nice for both Jace and explosives, technically. But, yeah, let's run it like this. So let's just be running the Goryo Reanimation. So we're cutting some of our slower, dirtlier kind of stuff. This hand looks great. I've got 2 sideboard cards. Sure, it's a 1-lander, but We're on the draw, and opponent's playing, what is that card? Burning Inquiry, anyway, so we might get screwed on lands. We might have more lands than we need. Okay, cool, we still have land. Sweet. We did lose our Kaya, though. See, now this looks really scary, right? But we have Axe, we have Charm, it's not over. Ooh, there's an Iname. I'd almost rather get her into the bin than the Torgar. You got to see how cool the Torgar is last game, but I think we're gonna and I might want to try to minimize the damage we're taking on this Lightning Axe. I might actually get Mountain here, because that's how we lose this. We lose it to them having a super sweet Inquiry like they had here. Like this Lightning Axe has to do some work for us. We want them to Burning Inquiry us again, because I really do need second land. We were going to see second land in a couple draws, right? See this Marsh Flats here? It might be correct for me to get the Blood Crypt, because we do have a couple of sources that aren't going to give us black, right? We have, I mean, most of our lands are black sources, but there is the Singleton Foundry. There is the Raugrin. All right, so before this Burning Inquiry goes off, we're taxed into doing this. I'm gonna opt to take less damage from our mana base here. Might screw us in the end, but we already are kind of hoping for favorable percentages. Let's dump the Iname, make sure that hits the bin, and hope to hit land, hope to hit Goryo's Vengeance. So hopefully this is helpful. We do hit land. Okay. Haven't found the Goryos yet. Flame Wake, but no ability to get it out. We're going to toast this Hollow One before their attack step next turn. We can wait a little bit. It stinks that this is going to hurt. I was kind of hoping for a black fetch instead of the Blood Crypt. Okay, Plague Engineer. Don't see any Bloodghasts from our opponent, but anyway, we'll shock this in. And is it if in play? If you have creatures. So since this says if, all we have to do is remove the Hollow One before the trigger, before my opponent, like in response to the trigger going onto the stack, as long as we Rakdos Charm the Hollow One, we're good. I wish we had a different removal spell and we could use this to hit some of their graveyard stuff, but that's okay. Ooh, or I'm making a huge mistake here. No, I didn't. We get to react. I'm pretty sure you get a chance to react to the trigger. So now that they no longer have a creature that's power 4 or greater, you know, this deck used to be a lot more prolific and present in this format. I haven't seen it nearly as much, so it's funny that I'm like second guessing myself on how this works. Ooh, and pretty Thoughtseize too. Opponent's got a really pretty deck. I like some of these old border stuff we're seeing. Beautiful deck from our opponent. Probably take Channeler here. I mean, sure, this killed you last time, but it killed you from the graveyard. Yeah, you take the Channeler, for sure. I don't really have anything going on next turn if I don't draw. Like, we have the top deck. I'm looking for Goryo's Vengeance, right? That'd be one of my best draws. We'll see. Okay, Godless Shrine lets us cast Bloodghast. Probably just going to cast Plague Engineer. I mean, you could name Phoenix, right? But we know that they have Bloodghasts. So I think it'd be foolish to name anything other than Vampire or Spirit. Probably going to name Vampire. You never know. Maybe there's a Calidus hanging out in their sideboard, or they have like a weird, like, I don't know. I think we're more likely to see more Vampires. I think some builds of this have also included, what is it, that one drop that's got Menace, that's a Vampire. I think we'll name Vampire. The crazy thing about Plague Engineer is that it's one-sided. The fact that it's only your opponents. We could name Spirit here, but I'm guessing we're more likely to see Vampires than Spirits. If they had another creature besides Bloodghast. I'm pretty sure we're just hitting their Bloodghast here in this spot. The list is pretty known and streamlined. The Hollow One lists. So, what is this doing? He's shutting down Bloodghasts. Maybe he'll block and trade with the third Hollow One. And if not, we have a clock. This is great. We're doing things, and they're not doing things, and that's exactly where we want to be in this matchup. We want them to get choked up and draw the wrong side of their deck, and we just want to reanimate or beat down with spirits and tokens. So what are you folks playing in Modern, by the way? Oh, they have a bolt? That's fine. That's fine. We didn't need you anyway, engineer. We didn't need you anyway. This is probably Goblin, the 2-drop. Goblin lore. They ditch an unearth, an adept, and a thought seize. But what do they keep? No third hollow one, so that's a good sign. I don't know if I need to make this land drop here. It doesn't do a whole lot for us. There's not a big difference in our deck between 3 and 4. I don't think I'm going to play it. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A second Bloodghast with this land would get us to the Torgar hardcast, which would be great. Put him to 10. Have a 7/6. Yeah, it'd be great if we get to steal this matchup. This also would be kind of a tough match. I feel like in the dark, I would argue that this is another tough matchup because we're kind of like, we're 2 ships passing in the night, and their deck proven has some really nutters draws. So does ours, but I feel like their nut draws are not contingent on the graveyard, whereas mine are. Another Goblin lore, okay. Oh boy. Oh, they have ley lines. Also pretty that they match. Gosh, this what a beautiful deck they've got here. I mean, I really like the old borders on everything. It's pretty. Takes me back. It's beautiful. Another land. That's not great for us. And maybe I should have been playing these out for the sake of wait to see if they have removal spell for the gas before I do. Maybe I should have been playing these out just to thin. That's really unfortunate that we're flooding. Thank goodness that we took the first game. I don't know if we're going to get there just on the back of this single Bloodghast. We kind of need something else, folks. All right, Mono Green Tron, Eldrazi, and Taxes, Coco, Amulet Titan. You got any spice in those lists, Mystical? Or are they pretty stock? Eldrazi, Death, and Taxes. That sounds like a lot of fun to play. Amulet Titan's pretty technical. Oh, we had an Elves player in here the other day, Mystical, except they were like straight up old school combo elves. Really cool. If you hop in our Discord, let me see this. This isn't necessarily me plugging just to get you into the Discord that's associated with the Bruce By Brewing, network, card hoarder network, but go ahead, if you have some spice, share it with the other folks, maybe in the Modern channel. And you'll see, I think he either posted them there or in the podcast Discord. Oh, shoot. That's like one of their best draws in this situation. Dang it. You might see their combo list, or I could find it for you. Because it's kind of fun to think about with elves, right? That you could also do the combo builds. I might even just want to bolt this Pyromancer here and try to maybe we draw another removal spell. I don't know what our plan is anymore. We needed them to, like, I need to draw magic cards. Thank goodness. All right, check this out. You guys have been here waiting for us to do the thing. Here's us doing the thing. Don't have a surgical, please. Oh, don't have a surgical. Yes, they don't have the surgical. Yes. You guys have been waiting for us to do the thing. I'm going to go get all these. Don't mind me. Just going to go tutor up a bunch of cards. Is that all of them? No. Okay. And play a land. Get a bunch of Bloodghasts. This is game, by the way. They needed a surgical or something here. Even if they block the Iname, they're dead. Game. Deceptively powerful. Like, sure, we could be reanimating Grizzlebrand. I'm not trying to say this is necessarily more powerful. It's different, right? Like, instead of me, grabbing 7 or more cards, I'm guaranteed to grab an army of Bloodghasts. depending on the board state, that can be good or bad, right? Why do these have Summoning Sick on them? These should say haste. My opponent's at 8. Whatever. Whatever. Anyway. Sweet, right? Wasn't that nice? That worked out really well. Why is there a chat log here? That's strange. Not used to there being a chat log in this interface. Okay. That was sweet, wasn't it? Shaman of the Pact, Coco Elves. Pretty lucky wins. Pretty lucky for me, a lot of wins with it. People just underrate. Oh, dude. People totally underrate elves in Modern. Like, I think I do too. I think when I think of elves, I think of Legacy. I don't tend to think of Modern. So I think I'm in that category of players that underestimate the deck. I think the deck's really cool, though. I think it's really fun. And certainly has that underdog. But it's not one, right? I mean, like when you have the nutty draws, like the deck is fast. The deck is fast, right? You consistently have a mana dork. Versus any other deck in the format. In Elves, you always have the dork. The mana dork, turn 1 dork. Other decks that are playing like, you know, birds and such, like they don't tend to have it as high of a percentage. So that's something that's kind of neat about Elves. Do you play stuff like Selfless Spirit out of the sideboard or anything like that? Do you splash for some stuff? I'm just curious. I feel like Selfless Spirit that's such a powerful effect that it's maybe nice. Well, I guess Azuri kind of does the same thing though, right? Gives you that regeneration. But that's cool. But yeah, I mean, Combo Elves is cool too. I think it's completely unnecessary and very win more. And I embrace, what was his name? His name was Jeff. I embraced it because it looked like so much fun. We got to play against one another. By the way, we are 2-0 right now in this league with our Mardudu Reanimator. You really can do pretty much anything right now in this format. So cool, right? That we can pretty much do anything right now. It's kind of neat. This hand is a whole lot of land, but the 3 cards that are here are kind of nice. Kind of tempted to keep this because like these are some of the best cards that I can see game 1. Maybe this is a mulligan because this is certainly like 1 to 2 more lands than I want to see in an opener. But and here they go taking away one of the cards that I have. Yep. But now I'm a little bit thankful that I didn't mulligan because we are against a Thoughtseize opponent. I don't know. That's kind of debatable. Like, sure, we're up against a fellow Thoughtseize player. Oh, opponent mulliganed to 6. So, I don't know. I feel like you just take the Channeler here. Like, I don't have something worth vengeancing yet. I don't know. Used to, not anymore. Since COVID, haven't gotten to play much paper. Never got into Moto. Yeah, but you could do like a rental service, perhaps, Mystical. Oh, wow, we drew another Channeler. Well, I'm glad we're drawing, like, actual Magic cards. I might want to fetch and thin. Might want to go get our Raugrin, our Triome here. No. I mean, I'm not complaining. We drew a real card. We drew a real Magic card. Whoa, Inkmoth Nexai. So we are playing against the equipment deck that is splashing black for Thoughtseizes and sideboard card. Sideboard cards. Interessante. Wow, we're drawing a lot more fetching. I may just go ahead and just desperately I'm trying to thin. Channeler, go. There's still 5 Reanimate cards in our list, right? We're playing a Rites, we're playing a Footsteps, we're playing 4 Vengeance. Really do want to see, like, ideally we see, like, Torgar. Like, we, hopefully, like, we're really it's tough, right? Like we're hoping to see this 6 or 7, right? This we want this 6 and we want this 6 game 1. A lot of filtering, right? A lot of discard. Sword of Fire and Ice. It's terrifying. A Thoughtseize. So there's an OBS I'm not ready for. It's disappointing. It's okay though. I mean, they already have the scary stuff on the table. There's a Batter Skull I don't care about for a while. I don't even know if I really care to lose the life points. I think I'm just gonna go get basic. Like we could take the damage, sure, and like have an extra card in hand, I guess, which is relevant for channelers, but I'm gonna choose to not take the damage here because I really want to play the second channeler. That might be wrong, by the way, folks. It might be correct to shock there, go to 13, but to have the extra land in hand for extra channeler activations. Been playing a lot of Arena Historic. Yeah, it's on mobile now, so that's awesome. I actually downloaded it myself and have been playing a tiny bit. Ugh, this is gonna be double trigger. It's so good. I don't think we can win anymore, right? They get to shoot down a channeler here. They get to draw 2 cards. Maybe they just shoot us. Double Strike's so good with equipment. It's amazing with the swords. It's amazing. It makes me think of like Legacy Death and Taxes playing, you know, Mirror Crusaders and such. So I don't know how we still win this, to be perfectly honest. Don't know if we can. So we'll get a token. Everything I have is red ever, so if and when Paper Magic starts up again, sleeve up Jund Shadow. That'd be fun. Man, oh man, we are having a tough time. Against this combination duelist sword. I mean, the Kuro Pit Lord would remove the duelist, but I need to hit a reanimation. Alright, so the Sculler's coming down. I need to get this into the bin. So why don't we wait for this trigger to go in the sack? We won't have anything else in the hand. This is going to hurt a little bit. Actually, I think that kills me, right? Yeah, this kills me. If I shock and shoot the Sculler, we're just dead, right? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll concede here. So that's unfortunate. Oh, next card, reanimation. Really? Ugh. Why, deck? These seem great against my opponent. Hit their threats. Hit some of the hate they're going to be bringing in. These seem great. Same can be said for the Abrades. I don't know if I want to side much more. Let's cut some of the grindier stuff, like the Jace and the Obs. You notice I'm taking them out a lot, right? Well, we're playing against a lot of fast decks, so they're not great. The Brutalities also aren't all that great. Maybe. You can make the argument that, but you know, Batron, this is hand hate that hits where you need it to hit. That's true. Again, we don't really want to be that slow, so maybe I cut a seasoned like I'm doing basically a very similar sideboard plan to what I did before. I don't think I want to overboard. You could play the Charm, like he's shown us quite a bit of artifact stuff, quite a bit of artifacts. We know there's going to be Stoneforge over there. So, I mean, maybe you play the Rakdos Charm over even another Pyromancer. I don't want to cut too many discard outlets, though, is the thing. But, anyway. When it's not a grind, I'm less interested in some of those higher mana pieces. But yeah, I'm hoping that more paper Magic starts soon. I mean, like it's we're in the midst of a global pandemic, so you know we're still in it, right? It's crazy. Feels like it's been as if it's been an eternity, right? It's like you think back to the ways that the world once was. I mean, I'm not saying that without hope. I have hope. I'm merely saying, you know, it's just like some days you're just like, man, it's just really dragging on. Just really dragging on. When are we going to get those nice, big, fun Magic tournaments, or just, quite frankly, you know, large, fun social gatherings that we all took for granted, right? Or at least I'm sure I took for granted somewhat. All right, let's smash our opponent here, shall we? No mulligans. Give us nice hands deck, nice streamline, beautiful. This is actually maybe doable. Oh yeah, I didn't point out the Lurrus last game, by the way. I actually will keep this. This is quite close, right? It's got a sideboard card. It's got a reanimation spell. It's got targets. We just need a way to dump. So now I feel dumb that I cut that many. Pyromancers. Maybe I shouldn't cut ever more than one, right? It's like Pyromancer's exactly what I need right here. But can't undo what I've done. So let's roll with it. I refuse. What? Yeah, how's it going, Dry? How you doing? Well, Mystical, I appreciate you hopping in the chat. I know the stream's new for you tonight. Hopping in the chat and chatting us up, and that's awesome. Love to see that. I might just Thoughtseize here. Like, I don't really care to kill this. The only reason it was scary last game is because they got things going. Pure Steel, Double Skull, Sculler. I take a Sculler. I don't know why I'm saying it like Schlatt, that. I took out the Peasy, sorry, the Vryn's Prodigy, so this can be whatever. It doesn't need to be the Tri-Land. I might even leave the Tri-Land in, because versus other lands that I draw, at least it has the flexibility of being cycled. So what does this Sculler take? They take a Braid, right? Maybe? Alright, so they're sculling us. Yeah, it's really sad, Mystical. There are other areas that it's been rough. But, no, I mean, I have hope that, you know, things will get better. It's getting worse in Brazil. Is that a recent? Is that recent? They've got mismatched duelists, by the way. All right, so let's just go. Let's just have perfect mana, shall we? Let's just go get the founder. We don't need to get the Triome. We don't need the We are not in need. Take 2. Wow, that's insane, Mystical. That's quite a lot. And is this the new strain? I haven't been following the news all that much. That doesn't mean that I don't care. I do care. I haven't been. There's a lot of misinformation and negativity, so I'm it's not that I'm not listening to the news at all. I'm just being more cautious about when I uptake what sources I'm picking, which, by the way, are things that we should do regardless, right? We should be doing those things. Wow, we can't catch a break here. I am having a hard time drawing things other than lands. But yeah, that is really, really hard to hear, Mystical. I take your word. I don't know. So I'll take you at your word for that that's what's going on. Yeah, that is unfortunate. Speaking of unfortunate, I think we're going to lose to a 1/1 double strike and a 2/2. Paladin. Losing to a bunch of bears and an ornithopter. Yep. Yep. That's a Torgar. Yep. Yep. Well, our opener looked pretty promising. That's the thing. We are like an A plus B combo that happens to have some other stuff thrown in, grindy elements. I can't wait for the Mardu decks to get access to Verse. That will be cool when we get to do things with it. We know one of the cards in their hand is, you can see. Oh, that'd be pretty good here. Decent. Would we have known, though, to put it on 1? I don't know. It's kind of tempting to blow up the Sculler because we get the Abrade back. We were never going to draw that. So note to self, let's be careful in the number of discard outlets that I ever cut for sideboard cards, right? Because actually, we didn't even have a sideboard card that game. But that being said, I think maybe I'm being hasty and cutting. Like yes, some of these cards are slower, but they're also really... I feel like maybe I cut Merchant before I feel like I should be cutting Merchant before I start cutting Peasies, right? Pyromancers. So maybe we'll chalk that down as we move forward in this league. I don't think that was necessarily a matchup error. That may have been a sideboarding mistake. Now for a new topic. Yeah. People died at Ornithopter all the time. I do feel a little bad. Well, the Ornithopter's not what killed us, but we did die to, like, bears. Anyway. I mean, if we're not doing anything, it doesn't matter what my opponent's deck is up to, as long as their plan is working and I'm choking and messing up and not finding the pieces, right? So for our deck to work, we have to find the first part of the piece, which is discard outlets, right? Because that's what's going to make the Bloodghasts happy and all this reanimation nonsense happy. So we have to find that part of the puzzle. If I can't even find that part of the puzzle, none of our deck works. Ideally, we also get the nuts, which is the reanimation targets and the reanimation spell, but I need the first things first, right? We need the filtering. Like, for example, this hand has the similar issue, right? Well, not really. I could Thoughtseize myself. I wish I knew what they were on. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. You need exactly hand hate or force. I could even maybe play around force, by the way, if I do it during their turn, because it's Iname. It doesn't matter when I reanimate it so much. I could play around force negation. I can't play around spell snare or hand hate. If I'm keeping this hand, this is an all-in hand. This is I'm going to Thoughtseize myself and try to get this out. So let's just do it. Just don't have it, opponent. Don't have it. Here we go. Please go like turn 1 Noble Hierarch. Go like anything. Go turn 1 Goblin Guide even. Sure. Be burn. Stream pause for you. How about this 3-0 coming on up? Oh, that's a good sign. That's a really good sign. So they have path for us. Oh, we drew a Bloodghast. Darn it. But that's okay. This is a good sign. I mean, I don't have to Vengeance now, but I kind of want to. Don't we? Don't we want to just do it now? And here's the setup. So even if... Here's the cool thing about this. Even if I don't draw a reanimation spell, I have 3 Bloodghasts now and several lands in hand. I'd like to draw another reanimation spell. And we know we're not going to top deck any of these. We could have waited on that, but looks like they're playing taxes. Nope, they're playing tokens. What? Is tokens a modern deck now? That's awesome. I mean, it was back in the day, is what I'm trying to say. Back in the day it was. Anyway. And hey, they'll block us pretty nicely. I think I do. We have several other lands in hand. I think I do want to get this other Ghast on the table. Your turn. Opponent's likely on jank. Are they like a polymorph deck? Watch them have like polymorph going on. No, maybe not. This has got to be 3 dudes seriously, right? They're playing 3 dudes seriously. That's what my buddy Duncan used to call this card. Spectral Procession equals 3 dudes? Seriously? That's the name of that card? Sure. Well, we're going to try to race you. If they have Intangible Virtue, we just lose immediately, right? Is that the plan? Oh, I don't... Hang on. I attack first, then we're going to... That was almost the totally wrong order. I almost really embarrassed myself. Do some blocking. Right? Yes. Just one? Okay. So yeah, we're going to do this. Yep, we'll get you. Peasy. No tokens. Very sad about that. Somewhat. But hey. Some more gas. Jund players dubbed it that. He played some good... He played some, like... Some tier decks as well, my buddy Duncan. He tried to play some other, like, edgy stuff, too. He had a nice mix of things. Oh, he got a red splash, maybe. And it's probably just here for... Like, if I see this much basic snow plains, I'm assuming that this is just here as a Horizon land that happens to be white. Maybe this was cheaper than Horizon Canopy. On thin ice, the Pyro. Actually, I feel like I would hit a Bloodghast. Oh, he's going to hit the Pyro. Okay. They don't want me blocking. And I would guess things like on thin when I see this many planes. Snow-covered, specifically. Right. Yeah. I mean, Spectral Procession, quite good in that regard. So we're going to leave some on block. We're going to transform our Adanto. I am in a little bit of trouble. I just really would love to draw a Reanimation. I don't even think I really want to Inquisition anymore. I think I just want to turn this into a token. Another Spectral. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I feel like I would have attacked with this human if I knew I had the Spectral, which they did. Like, why not attack with this? You already have so many other blockers. Wow, okay, there's the footsteps. So, I think we win right here, don't we? It's close, right? Why don't we Inquisition first? I think I'm going to be using Koro. A path. Okay, that was relevant. So let's footsteps. I think it's Kuro. It might not be. So hold on. So I'm at 11. If I kill their whole board, do we just win? We do, right? I'm pretty sure we win if I just kill their whole board. So why would I not do that? So let's kill the lifelink. Let's kill the flyers first. Let's kill the untapped human. Smash for nearly lethal. And I think I just kill the others, right? I'm losing life either way. Like, why not just... Sure, like, what if like, really strangely they have, like, a bolt or something off the top? Like, it's like... That's just so unlikely. You know? Anyway, let's just kill all their dudes. This goes back into the graveyard. That's the fun thing about footsteps, is the Kuro is still... I mean, obviously, I would have rather that was a Goryo's Vengeance, right? Watch them have, like, exactly the perfect card to save them in this situation. No. Oh, maybe. I turned on the fateful hour of it. I think I just lost. I think I just lost the game for us, folks. Maybe. No. No. I turned on the fateful hour. Oh, my gosh. Well, wait, no. They have to block every... We may not have lost. Hold on. That was a pretty good top deck from them. I still stand by what we did with the Kuro. I still think that was right. We do this first, right? We do this first before attacks. Yeah. Yeah. You're fine. They have to block. Well, yes. Oh, or I just draw perfect, right? Oh, I can't. All my basics are... I can't play the brutality. Oh no. But yeah, I think we're still okay. So we'll attack before we play the land, of course. They have to block everything. I think we've still got this. So I have to block all my attackers. We have a fetch. Get them all back. Like I think this is still our game. It just stinks that I couldn't do the brutality. This looks like ours. This looks like us. I know, why couldn't it have just been a Goryo's Vengeance? I know. Right? Yeah, yeah, Dry. We still win even if he hits the other Fateful. We should be considerate of that card. How do I beat tokens? Explosives, right? Easy. That's like the only thing we bring in, that and the Plague Engineer, right? Do you think that they're on... I mean, like, tokens is probably going to be playing Intangible Virtue. Do we play the feeds? These also hit maybe some stuff we care about. I don't know. I'm assuming they have maybe Rest in Peace. Well, maybe not, because they... Well, no, they're not on Lingering Souls. Remember, they're not on Lingering Souls. Oh, these do hit the ice. Fire, on Thin Ice. So these hit on Thin Ice, and they hit things like Intangible. This hits the other enchantment we saw, the one that makes a lifelinker, and then they can flip it. We could stop it from flipping, potentially, by killing it. Kind of like these feeds. And certainly the Plague Engineer and the Explosives. Alright, I'm not going to cut more than one PZ. Now, here's the thing, though. This is a matchup where it definitely can get grindy, and that's where instead of Footsteps, I'd rather have Unburial. Maybe... Alright, so the 1-for-1 removal is the first thing that comes out. Hang on, let's start there. Rakdos Charm for damage mode. Oh, that's spicy. That's clever. That's like the fun got 'em, right, Dry? Alright, for you get brownie points for thinking of that, and maybe I will run it. So what's not great? Obsidat, I think, is not good enough here. Like, I'm almost always going to pick Kuro. Like, okay, if we Iname, Reanimate, and set up the Bloodghasts, and I have a choice between Obs and Kuro, I'm almost always in this matchup going to pick Kuro. So why don't we just go ahead and make that decision? Obsidat might still be better than Torgar, but, like, and maybe we're not going to run Torgar. I'm not sure. Is this all that great in this matchup? Are we better off with Kaya? What are we exiling? Should we play the feeds? We saw several enchantments we might want to get rid of. I don't know. Merchant's also not that great. Just in general, I find myself cutting this quite a bit post-board. Since the games are slower anyway, I'd rather have the better discard outlets. That's maybe something we should just do. Maybe we should just always side this out, because it's just such a weak card. It's just here to help facilitate the reanimation. I do like this deck. It's really entertaining to watch. Better than watch somebody play Rock for an hour. Well, I appreciate you, Mystical. I try to play some Spice. Do we want to just play the Abrades just to hit sideboard cards? Relic and such? Do we want to just preemptively try to hit the sideboard cards? I'd rather play Kaya. I think we'll play Kaya, and maybe Mom Pop Thopter Shop actually is maybe decent in this matchup. The 1/1 flyers. Let's play that. I don't know if that sideboard was correct. I haven't played against mono white tokens, so I'm not sure. I did take out the Torgar, and I know this is the Spice that I really want to make it work. I think I take this out. It's good. It's fun. I think it's great with our Bloodghasts and such, and the fact that we can make some tokens. I don't know if we keep this. Rakdos Charm could punk them out. I know, but I don't think we can keep this opener. It just doesn't do an... Oh, this is maybe worse. I might bin the Bloodghast, because we'd rather tutor for it, right? We've talked about that quite a bit. I'll keep Rakdos Charm even though I don't have the red for it yet. Most of our mana base is red. So I'm actually going to bottom the Bloodghast, because, like I said, we'd rather... We're going to name Human here, right? Or Spirit. We'd rather... I'd probably name Spirit instead of Human, right? Does I care more about the flyers? Yeah, we name Spirit with this, for sure. Alright, I am going to shock to Thoughtseize on time and just hope to draw to the things. Oh! So they do have the Intange. We just take the Rest in Peace, right? There's no reason not to. My hand is double vengeance, so I'm pretty sure I have to take it. I was just seeing if we brought in the enchantment answers. But anyway, we're going to take this. I figured they might have something like Intange. That's what we were afraid of last game, the Intangible Virtue. Just such an efficient anthem for the tokens decks. Such a powerful engine for them. But no, I'm glad you're finding this entertaining, Mystical. I appreciate you. Okay. We don't need a shock because I'm probably not playing this right now. So let's just, you know, make some land drops. This doesn't really do what we need it to do anymore. Kind of negates the +1/+1 at least of the virtue, but the vigilance is still very relevant. The townsfolk have been gathered. Give me a land deck. Would you be so kind? Thank you. Sometimes you just gotta ask, right? Do you slam Pyro here? I think we consider slamming Pyro. Right? Right? Don't we do that? To be honest, when I played tokens, I found Virtue to be steadily worse and worse. It often meant people could enjoy your enchantment, just deal with the tokens. And you, in the end, you only ran one. Well, I think the first one is great, though, right? I might pitch the Engineer, which is crazy, right? How about we pitch... I might... And it seems nuts, right? Because there's some of our best card in the deck. But I might be keeping the Charm. No, we can't keep Charm. I might ditch a Vengeance and keep the Engineer, though. Because I think shrinking these two human tokens may very well be relevant. They're probably going to on thin ice my Pyro. Oh, they're going to path right now. Okay, that's maybe great for us. Our hand's mostly black, so I am going to grab the Swampy. Cool. I don't really... we can't justify blocking here, but if I get the Engineer on the table... Well, we need to be careful. There's this on thin ice that we know about. Kaya can remove a token. Another Virtue? Oh, boy. See, I don't... I mean, like, I get what you're saying. No blocks. I mean, I understand what you're saying. But... yeah, I almost want to, like... I think one of our best plays is to set up for the Engineer to work. Like, the Kaya can do some major work here, right? She totally can. Get rid of a token. Protect the Kaya. The real Spice, play one Virtue, one Smugs. Oh, hey, what's up, Juke? I'm sorry, I don't think that is updated, actually. My mistake. I think that's the last stream's version. The version you're looking at, though, Juke, is a it is a 4-1 list. That was when we 4-1'd with it. But let me try to get you this most up-to-date build of the deck. Export. Save. Let me just see. It might be updated, actually. Let me see. I might have updated it manually. It looks like I updated it manually, so I misspoke. Actually, it is up to date. Sweet. Even down to the sideboard? No, it's not. It failed the test. The main deck looks like it's been updated. Let me fix the sideboard. There's no random surgical extraction anymore. Mahiri, Pia, Kaya, Calidus. Braid, Engineered, Feed, Rakdos, Damping, Plague Engineer. That's what I'm missing. List is up to date. Spectral Procession. That's awful for us. This isn't great to draw either. So I can't double spell here. Plague Engineer, though, is probably what I want to do instead of feeding the... I think we just lost this, to be honest. So we're going to exile a Spirit. And we're going to... like, feed, I think feed isn't where we want to be. play engineer, chump. These are only 4. They kill Kaya. We feed the virtue. Oh, wait, actually, feed the swarm hits on converted mana cost. Hang on. Maybe I actually just take out a spirit token with this feed. Or actually, I guess if our aim is to plague on spirit, maybe I take out this other human token. I don't know. This is tough, folks. I think we're just dead. I think we're have to go to game 3. Yeah, of course, Juke. Yeah, maybe there's a little bit less of the card. I actually think I'm supposed to feed a spirit. I don't think I can take this many hits. Or no, feed the human. Even though the spirit tokens are better, I'm feeding because I have plague to name spirit. So Kaya's probably going to take a wallop here, but that's a good thing. Like she's basically gaining us 3 life or more. If you play plague name spirit, you don't live a turn anyway. Yeah, we need to draw something. I need like P and Kieran Alar off the top or something, actually. It's too bad that we never found something to Gorios. Like, we have quite a few targets. I know I cut a couple, right? I cut the Torgar and I cut the Obs. But we still have a lot of targets. It's a little shame that I didn't get there. Okay. They should ignore the Kaya, right? They should just go straight for me. You should just go for me. Let's see if they see to do that. Nope. Kaya's going to gain us some life. I guess it doesn't change the clock all that much, though, right? Go to 4. Need pretty much exactly engineered explosives or... Oh, okay. We get to play on. So explosives has to be set to 0. We do get to play Plague Engineer. I guess I would name Spirit. They've played 1 Gather and 1 Spectral. We could wait on the Plague Engineer. We don't have to put it down. I would like to get a clock going, though, so for that reason, I'll go ahead and name Spirit. My opponent just said we're drawing, like, really well. So we'll name Spirit. Just to have a clock. Like, I want to get this down because, like, sure, we could wait to see what tokens that they draw, but... Here we go. Wow, they don't do anything? That's maybe fantastic. They also might just have the one that puts 2 tokens in instantly. This is a 4/4. Kind of sad that I played this many lands out. Oh, I know why I did. Or I shouldn't have played out the 5th land, though. Well, no, I needed the 5th land to play the plague out and also have this ready to go. But anyway, an Iname I can almost cast, but can't. So sad. Yeah. So sad. Sure. So this guy's got a lot of... I'll thin. This opponent has got a lot of Anthem effects. Don't really want to play that Thoughtseize. Don't really think they have much of anything. I guess I would still thin again. The beatdown. Maybe I should just be swinging with the Chandler. We're just not hitting the gas. I mean... It almost always feels right to be doing Channeler, but another ley line. Okay. And I will thin. I'll grab the mountain, actually. Oh, no, I should have grabbed Raugren. We do still have Jason. I should have looked into that. Whoops. All right. Give me the goods. There we go. Now we're talking. Still no target for this vengeance, so I guess we're just gonna let it go. There's our target. We can cycle this. We're climbing out of this hole. If they just get one token, it's going to be ginormous, though. Maybe I'm supposed to cycle this immediately. Relic. Probably crack this now, right, opponent? I mean, I'm guessing we're going to lose this Bloodghast, right? I'm just going to crack it. There's no way I can get the Bloodghast out, right? No. Just let it go. Yeah, like this guy's going to be huge, and it's going to be a lifelinker. 5/5 Vigilant lifelink. Engineered explosives, anyone? Pia Kieran Nalar. Okay. There's also a Iname to think about. There's the Jace, unfortunately. We can just discard it. I didn't get the... This is also in the bin. Yeah. It's funny, I'm like counting my lands for a second thinking about that Kuro. But anyway, we're only at 2 life, so it's not great. So if I play Pia and Kieran, I could swing the Engineer because it's got Death Touch. What else could I do in this situation? I'm at 2. I could also, if I do the Iname, I don't get the Magmatic Chandler. It might be correct to just let them gain a little life, I suppose. It stinks. I think I'm gonna mom pop Thopter Shop. I mean, we could stop it from gaining life, them from gaining life. Maybe I'm just not gonna get back into this if I let them gain any life. So that would be attack with the Engineer. If they go to attack, it stinks that it's Vigilant. Like, we're not gonna win that race. What's up, Unicorn? We're not gonna win that race, right? I pretty much have to get a successful Iname reanimation to happen, don't I? You can also just sack the Thopter. Yeah, that's what I'm saying is I can do a Thopter sacrifice. Funny enough, they're bigger thanks to these ley lines. Oh, that's fascinating. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that for my elemental token, like the fact that I'm gaining some stats from these. We might have a chance after all. These do fly. I really don't want them to gain any life at all. Right? I guess they could choose to gain life here. And, like, we're already hoping for them to brick and not draw more, like, to keep drawing lands or anthems, what have you. And remember, this isn't the last game, right? We did take game... So now we know that we can do the Chandler. We did take game 1. We did. What about block and sack? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Mr. Green, but I don't know. I think I'm okay with how things turned out. Maybe that was wrong. What was the loss to? So far in this league, we lost to... Funny enough, we lost to the Hammer Time. A Hammer Time variant that had a black splash for Thoughtseize is all that I've lost to so far in this league. We've beaten out... what do we play against? We played against some interesting decks tonight. We played Lantern, managed to beat that, which I don't think we should. That's a pretty horrible matchup for us because they have the main deck Graveyard Hate. On thin for my Pia Kieran Nalar? What are we hitting here? Yeah, okay. We're looking really good right here. You know what? I might just play this out. I might just do the thing. Like, we've been getting really shafted on some of our Chandler hits. I kind of just want to go get the Bloodghasts and bring them out. Guaranteed. And just attack with these Chandlers. Let's just go get 3 Bloodghast. And you bring him out, right? Or do I want to channel it? No. I mean, it's very likely that one of these channelers hit a land. But I could just attack with them, too. Anyway, let's go get our Bloodghasts. The old hardcast 6 mana 4/4. Aw, yeah. Smash in. Put him to 3. Just go for the damage. Yeah. I feel like what we saw, what happened here, was exactly what Dry was talking about, right? Like, this is a lot of anthems. What a match. Yeah. So we're 3-1. I'm hoping to perform just as well as 3-1 or better. So we're already there where I was hoping the deck would perform. Let's see if we can get the last match. Yes, this man did not know what I knew. 4-1 for the dream. We got a 4-1 last time I played this list. Yes, this is a very greedy take on this archetype, right? Because I'm squeezing in a Jace. Part of the reason why I'm playing a Jace is the deck needs more discard outlets. It also needs more targets for the Goryo. So my Goryo count is 8. Now we are running a couple reanimation spells. Namely Footsteps and only Footsteps of the Goryo, and also Unburial Rites that don't care whether or not the creature's legendary. So what's cool about these 2 reanimation spells is you can reanimate Seasoned Pyro with these. Obviously, it's no Unburial, right? It's not nearly as mana efficient as Unearth. I mean to say not Unburial, Unearth. But anyway, let's play this last one to the best of our ability. I'm gonna mulligan this Singleton Mountain hand. I feel like this deck really likes the London Mulligan rule. I might even mulligan again. This hand doesn't really do anything. And we want to do the thing game 1. So this hand does do the thing. So therefore we keep it. And I'm going to bottom Swamp. I'm very tempted to be greedy and keep the Shizo. A reason to not keep the Shizo is yeah, it's so tempting to keep it. It's so greedy. Is we want to make sure we have good colors for things like Pyromancer off the top. And this would not enable us to, yeah, let's not be greedy. It's so tempting to keep the technology land for me, but I'm going to fight that desire. Watch it be green, white, Heliod. There is a lot of that deck. He was punished for his anthem hubris. Hubris, yes. That was a lot of anthems, wasn't it? Oh, Bloomy Marsh, take my Goryo's vengeance. Make me a sad boy. Make us a very sad, sad boy. Our 6 wouldn't have been much better against this either. And our deck operates pretty well just off of 2 lands. Actually, we have Jason right now. So if I want to be able to hardcast Bloodghasts, I want Black Source here. If I want to be able to hardcast the Singleton Jace, I want to get our Tri-Land. I might still just lead on the Tri-Land. So they take my Chandler. I feel like I go for this maybe more than I should often. Like, cause this is just a fancy Sacred Foundry for us. Yeah, and look, and then I draw the Bloodghast. See, immediate punishment. I could have had a 2-1, guys. I think I shouldn't have gotten the Triumph, because it's like, this is only good if I have Jace. We only really need it if we have Jace, but the problem is I don't know if I'm going to have Jace oftentimes, because it's a Singleton. So I do wonder if this should just be a Watery Grave. I don't know. This feels like this is less taxing on our mana base, though, since we are Mardu colored. I feel like the Watery Grave would be pretty taxing, but yeah. I've bounced back and forth on the Jace. The Jace is nice because it's a discard outlet that's also a Goryo's Vengeance target. And I'd like to have 8 or so targets. But anyway, Tarmogoofy. Yep. I don't really want to be hardcasting this anyway. If only I could reanimate you with this. If only you were Unearths, right? I think we're dead. They're the Rock. They run main deck oozes and such. Please play Liliana for me, opponent. Make me discard this. Like, we're living the dream. If we can just get this into the bin, I have double vengeance. This is the dream. Like, we could still take this. Thoughtseize my vengeance. Yep. We want our non... And that's the issue with Chandler, by the way. We want our non... Like, I want something like Brutality or Pyromancer as the discard outlet, right? I still have hope. Speaking of hope. I think we 3-mode this, right? Even though it doesn't kill the Goyf, I just want to get both of these into the bin. And hopefully... Whoa. So that's unfortunate. So if they just draw a land... Wow, triple Luris. If they just... Hilarious hand. If they just draw a land here, we lose. Because they get to take the Iname. If they don't hit the land... We have to also hit a land. Okay, they drew Bauble. Excellent. But I might just lose to this 5/6 Goyf. Do you play Confidant or do you play Ooze? I feel like you play Ooze in my opponent's position. Why are they at 13? Fetch shock. Okay, fetch shock Thoughtseize. There's the Ooze. So I need exactly land, by the way. I'm going to Goryo's during our upkeep instead of after our drawing because it makes it that much less likely. It drastically increases my percentage to draw the land. So during our upkeep, I'm going to do this. Reanimation. We're that much likely to brick on like a... Anyway. Let's do this here. Yeah, triple Luris. Yes. It's like we're this many cards less likely to brick. We're that much higher. I'd also take... Well, no, we really just want land. We don't want anything else here, I think, because we want to get the ghasts out of the bin. Sure, I might just be throwing these to the Ooze, but I really, really, really want to hit land. So, even though I may be throwing these into the Scavenging Ooze, which I really don't want to do, it's not like I'm growing the Goyf anymore. There was already creature in the bin, right, from the Chandler. So, it's not like we're growing the Goyf. Opponent's looking at my graveyard like, what am I playing against right now? Isn't that the Rock? Isn't that the Jund or the Rock? Okay, that's not good. Like, reaction is, what in the world am I playing against? I have a friend who used to jam a lot of Jund and Rock, and anytime I'd show him one of my weird new brews, he'd always be like, what in the world am I playing against, Sean? And I'd be like, just wait, let me show you, let me show you the thing. Let me show you the thing that it does. That would be Jay's reaction right now. I remember showing him... Actually, I did build this in paper at one point. The Iname Bloodghast deck. I think back then it might have even not been... I think it was Esper colored back then, maybe. But anyway. So they take a Bloodghast. Take the Obsidat. Okay. Okay. I draw anything. I mean, I hope to draw... I don't know. We kill the Ooze, I'm still dead. I don't know if there's a way I can win this. I need, like... We need a lot of help, right? So unfortunately we're just dead here. But like I said, like, Rock is hard for us because they have the hand disruption, they have the main deck Scavenging Oozes. So we didn't win a very crucial game for us, which is... Now, Rock is a matchup where I might consider transformational sideboarding a little bit. I feel like that might be what we want to do. I don't know if I can beat them card for card. We saw, yeah, I don't know if I can beat them card for card. And then the question becomes, okay, how much of this strategy can I actually sideboard out? We actually still could play the Torgar since I'm still playing the Bloodghast. You can hardcast this guy. Versus if these slots, like the Jace and the Torgar slot, were Grizzlebrands, I think that's stronger for our Reanimate plan, but it's weaker for these other plans. So we could try to get off the reanimation spells and the Inames and the Kuro and the ones that we can't. I don't think that's a fight I want to do. Like, if you look at the latest, this is when I should go fishing for lists, right, after I've already done my sideboarding. So if we look at rock lists on, like, for example, mtggoldfish.com, I'm going to open that just in case. It should have its own section. Here we go. So the rock, I mean, not this version of the rock, though. I want the one that's got a bunch of Lurises in the main board, like this. This looks pretty close to what we maybe just played against, perhaps. So, like, what are they bringing in? They're bringing in 2 duress. Like, they want to interact with us more, right? And they're going to be playing their Calidus. They're going to play their 2 Ashioks. I don't know if I want to... 2 main deck Nile spell bombs. It's really... I really think we got to get off this plan and just try to grind. And we look pretty grindy here, right? We could even cut a Bloodghast to instead play Merchant of the Veil. I could cut a land. Is the other thing. I don't cut a land when we bring in these 4 mana plays. But I could consider maybe even cutting a Ghast. And maybe we don't want all this hand hate, right? Like, when we go to top deck mode, that's going to hurt us, right? So maybe I slim a piece of hand disruption. Seems good. I think Ghast is a grindier card than Merchant. Maybe you're right. I ended up cutting a Thoughtseize instead of the Ghast. This hand looks great. It's, well, maybe not. So hold on. So we have the white for the Kaya. We don't have red, and our deck's primarily red. We also don't have a fetch land for the Jace, but I don't really want to mulligan against my opponent's deck, and we do have turn 1 Thoughtseize and a Brutality. So I'm going to keep, and hey, just like, when we faced off against Lantern at the very beginning of this league, and I was sitting here thinking, wow, there's no way we can win. They just have so much access to game 1 graveyard hate. The Rock is in a similar category in my mind, right? They're going to be able to cheese our graveyard stuff game 1 that we lean very hard on. Like, look how hard we lean on the graveyard strategy game 1. All these Inames, Kuros, Gorios, everything, right? We lean very, very hard on that. All right, so I don't think I bother with the Nile Spellbomb. I think I take the Goyf, and then we hope to kill the Confidant. That should kind of tip them off that I maybe transformed, though. The fact that I didn't take the Spellbomb when I had the opportunity, that I just took the threat. I mean, Kaya could hit the bomb, but she probably won't. They'll probably get to crack it in response. Blooming Marsh. You've been playing Bluetron. Escape Shift. You are carning for Mindlock Orb. Oh, nice. We drew the Black Cleave. So if we wanted to, we could take out the Spellbomb here. I might want to. We do already have an answer for Confidant. I guess I will. That would also make our opponent maybe think that we still have graveyard shenanigans. I mean, I technically do in my hand, right? We've got this Jace that I would like to flip. I do need to find a fetch. I do have to find a fetch land probably to be able to hardcast this. Like I've said many times on this version, greediest card in our deck. Hands down, right? I mean, like, maybe we should get away from this. There's the Confidant. We could take it. Their hand is 1 card different because we know that they have land. I might not want to do extra modes on this card. Yeah, I think I just play this tapped and just kill the Confidant. Because Feed the Swarm's going to hit any threat. We would love for them to play, like, Hex Drinker or whatever that... Yeah, the 1-drop Hex Drink. Whatever, Duder, Hex Drinker. That'd be great. I think the Kaya's fine. Maybe she shouldn't have come in. She really only hits the Spell Bombs and the Hex Drinkers. I think she maybe comes in. What would she be instead? The Thoughtseize? She could be the Thoughtseize. Oh, we're fielding me? Trying to see if I don't have another red source. We are running a basic. So they're just testing the waters. They're just checking us out. I get it. I get it. I would be too. We only gain life if I'm exiling creatures, right? And I only have to exile one creature. It's not like you gain more. It's if at least one was a creature. Spellbomb, okay. This treetop village is going to be able to hit our Kaya potentially. Okay, so there's our avenue to Jace. No point in trying to exile the Spellbomb, I don't think. It is going to stop my Jace from flipping. I have a fancy Merfolk Looter right now. So this is not the greatest. It's more the most Chad move available. Bluetron's a lot of fun, Dry. It's like, it's not always about playing what's strongest, right? Like, Bluetron's strong and fun. And, like, you could sit here and make the argument that, oh, but it's just a worse Tron. Like, of course it is. The players playing Bluetron know that. Right? It's a matter of, but the play patterns that this deck has are more enjoyable than normal Tron. And you have a few better matchups than normal Tron, arguably, as well. A Thoughtseize. Okay. So here is where I would Kaya this, and then we get to Thoughtseize. Oh, wow, they just let me exile it? Okay. Is your hand a Fatal Push? We know their hand is Peatland. Ooh, we get an Ooze. Nice. Nice, nice. Jace. Were they F6'd? Because they feel like they should have used that Spellbomb, because they didn't know I had a Thoughtseize. Green Tron folds a lot to a lot of the new hate. Blue Tron's much better. Nickel and diming the opponent. Yeah, so and that's the thing, right? So I'm sitting here maybe out of my ignorance, Dry, saying, oh, well, one's better for this reason versus the other. They certainly play out very differently. So we lose the Kaya, whatever. Whatever. If we get to flip this Jace, that's Butamus. Is this Tarmogoofy? So this we only lose 2 life. It's equal to the converted mana cost, thankfully, not like the size or anything of the creature. Jace gets to flip a Rooney. Flip of the Jace. Pitch of the Landa. Don't want so many lands. Do I want to play this and fetch with it? I might want to. There's several cards in my deck, though, that really want the extra land. Namely, cards such as Lightning Axe really need this extra land. There's a lot of reasons to keep a land in this deck. So we will do that. We've already seen this. So hit Jace. We plus Jace, he doesn't die again, or we can minus him on a spell. It stinks that we're just going to... Oh, whoa, what is this? Yeah, I figure they're animating Village. I feel like I might crack the Peatland to see if there's a different play available. Like, his Jace doesn't go down immediately, and all I need is a Bolt, and we have them in still. Bolt, Lightning Axe. I want this Shizo to come up. I do. I really do. I have to tap you for black. I really want this Shizo to come up. Anyway, we have a threat. We've done it. At this point, you'll just hardcast the Lightning Axe, though. That's true. I mean, okay, so we're sitting here in kind of an unfavorable matchup, right? We're facing off against the main deck, spell bombs and oozes, but we shouldn't lose hope, right? You don't lose hope. You get nothing. You got nothing, opponent. You don't lose hope. But I do think it's the right plan, maybe, to get off the Reanimator plan game 2 when we're on the draw. Maybe we should side it back in and try to... Because, like, their hate is disruptible, right? It's not like we're facing off against... Well, even surgical extraction is interruptible, disruptible. But maybe game 3 we should try not to do the grind plan, because their deck is designed to grind, so it's like... We're not going to grind better, as you can see. We just won't, but... I am going to play this out in thin. There's no cards in their hand, so that's why I'm like, I don't really care too much if I play out this land. It's unfortunate that they get to kill the Jace with the treetop, and they could even start blocking the Bloodghast with the treetop. No, I appreciate you explaining it to me, Dry, and the rest of us, right? So, you know, maybe that's just a perception thing and something that only, like, the players that people that take the time to play Tron really get to understand. You gotta preach the word of Blue Tron, right? Let people know. Let the people know. All right, let's thin. No more lands, please, deck. Sacred Foundry's better with the Urborg. Oh boy. There's so many decks that we lose to if we draw like this. It doesn't even matter to me anymore, folks. It's like I would die to like 3 Memnites right now with this draw, like 2 or 3 Memnites. The way that we're drawing right now. They don't even care to be blocking the Bloodghast. Look at them just attacking with their treetop. Look at this. No respect for the Bloodghast. Yeah. We're hitting each other with very limp noodles here. Because neither of our decks are really doing what they want to be doing. He wants to have Aluris online, which is what we're very afraid of him top decking, right? They have 3 at least. Wow. I meant to attack first before playing the land. I think it's going to punish me too much, though. I don't know if there are any more lands we could possibly draw. I mean, there are, but it's just amazing to me. I do feel like Flood happens on Magic Online more than I see in paper, but then again, that's like, okay, if there's a truly randomized shuffler, which is Magic Online, I mean, it's a perception thing. I'm sure it's just like we had a lot of like solid draws going on this league. It was bound to happen at some point. Still happy with a 3-2. But yeah, can we please, deck, can I have a spell? Hey, I did ask for a spell, guys. Let it be known I did ask for a spell and I did get one. All right? Yeah, Names are out. I did ask for a spell, did draw one. This is over. It was a fun league, though. I had a lot of fun. My landlord actually asked me for some help, so we might be cutting this a little short. I have until 11. We have some time to debrief, talk about the matches a little bit tonight, talk about the deck. I also have a game I'd love to show you folks that you haven't maybe heard about yet, because it's relatively new. Maybe you should have kept Iname in. I feel like that's results-oriented thinking, Gay. Like we're not supposed to look like this, right? Like we're not supposed to play this many lands out. Your landlord asked for help. Isn't that supposed to be the other way around? Well, my landlord's also a very close friend of mine, and he has a bad back, so there's lots more things that go into that. I'm totally fine to stop a stream early to go help him. But yes, normally not so. Games. I hope you have a good rest of your league, smiley face. Yeah, it's like concede here, reveal hand, or we don't get to. Still awesome to. It always blows my mind that like we're still doing really well with this archetype. Actually, I think I had enough play points that we have another league. Or no, they are 100 now. I used to think they were, I don't know why I was thinking they were 120. Maybe we kill some time with some singleton. Let's just open it. Why not? It's fun. Abandoned sarcophagus. Anyway. Lets you cast your shark typhoons from the graveyard, right? So we have a bunch of play points. We could delete some in the singleton's queue. That's not good EV, though. I really should never do that. And I do that sometimes. I really shouldn't do that. All right, so matchups tonight. We played against what? Let's go back to our match. Can we look at our most recent match? I forget how to do that. I don't know if we can actually anymore in the new interface. So yeah, we had a 3-win, 2-loss just now. We had a 4-1 last league. What did we lose to? We lost to a bunch of bears. I'm kidding. It's the Hammer Time deck. They did actually do what their deck's trying to do. Game 2 or 3, they actually did smash us. We also lost against the Rock. I would assume that that's going to be a tough matchup because they have the main deck spell bombs and scoozes and such. What else happened? We what else? We played against I'm just thinking of our losses, but what did we beat though? What did we beat? Oh yeah, we beat Lantern Control, which I didn't realize was back in the meta. It's funny because I saw that earlier today. I was watching a Fluffy Wolf, by the way, if you're looking for another great Magic content creator. Look no further than Fluffy Wolf 2. He's great. Bloodstained Mire, a worthy draw. Yes. Yeah, it's bound to happen. I mean, a lot of iterations of this deck were a 21 land deck. If I was to rebrew this, I do think that the Jace has too much cost to it. I do really like that this list has an extra target, like adding extra targets. I think we just cut the Triome. And I also don't necessarily need that many fetch. I like having a lot of fetch, though, when I play a Bloodghast deck. Like, I don't mind having 10 fetch when I play a Bloodghast list. So maybe we cut that, and maybe we cut the Jace, and we go back to the 2 of Merchant of the Veil. And then we have room for, like, a singleton Grizzlebrand, or a singleton something. Or the second Torgar. I do like Torgar. I like what it does in this. I wouldn't play Torgar if I wasn't on Pyromancers and Bloodghasts. We could also just play the 4th Pyromancer again. Seasoned Pyro feels really, really good if we are up against an opponent that has a sufficient amount of graveyard hate that makes us want to shift. I do kind of want one more reanimation target. I think that it should be a Grizzle Daddy. I think the first Grizzlebrand is great. I don't know. Maybe we do play the Torgars. I'm not sure. It's hard to say. Like, Torgars are, they can just kill the opponent, right, if they don't have sufficient blockers. We could try the Grizzlebrand, some number of Grizzlebrands again. Fluffy plays Garrix. So no, thanks for coming to the stream, folks. This was fun. Maybe we can change up the sideboard a little bit too. I like where it is at. Obviously, we're going to get to play Verse. If you guys have been following the spoilers from the newest set coming out soon, Verse is insane for Mardu or Esper or any Black-White X list. Abzan will play Verse as well. So we get to play Verse instead of the feeds, because a lot of the same things that feed the Swarm hits, Verse hits. I mean, Verse is so flexible, you can even main deck it. Too bad you have to brew. Too bad you have to brew Cosmina instead. Oh, do I? Oh, do I, Jade? Is that called? You calling some shots? Let's play one more game before I go. I'd rather play another game of Magic than show you. There is another game, just a game out there that I'd love to show you at some point. But why don't we do a little bit of Modern tournament practice and try to squeeze in maybe one more actual game. Cutting the greediest parts of our list, which are the extra land, which was enabling us to hardcast our Singleton Jace. Let's just play another Pyromancer. Let's just play the Grizzle Daddy. And we could go up on the number of Grizzlebrands for sure, right? They're another enabler that's kind of on a similar power level as the Iname to set things up for our deck. It might just be that it's inevitable to get away from, you just can't get away from Grizzlebrand. I think I have 2 copies. We could play the second one. I just don't know what I would cut yet. Because I still want to test the Torgar, because I do like how the Torgar plays with all the Bloodghast that we can naturally play. Like, he can be, he works really well alongside all the Ghasts and Pyromancers. I might even jump to 2 copies of him before I start playing the Grizzlebrands. The problem is he's really great for gacha. He's really great for the fact that he's playable even if we don't draw a reanimation spell. I like the flexibility of this card in this archetype with all the tokens and the Bloodghasts and everything. Like a single Pyromancer that double spells almost pays for Torgar by itself. So no, you know what? No, let's not play the Grizzle Daddy. Let's keep trying the Torgar. Let's try 2. Because it's got the gotcha factor. It plays really nicely with the Pyros and the Bloodghasts. I'm not convinced I want to play the Grizzle Daddy just yet. But it like Grizzlebrand is great potentially in this archetype. Not potentially, he is great. A lot of other shells that are heavy on Obsidat are also just heavy on Grizzlebrand. Just try to redraw to the good things. The Singleton Inquisition also kind of weirds me out. I don't know if I love that. It seems kind of rando to me. I'd almost rather just have another Merchant of the Veil, number 2. The original list, I think, was 3, maybe 4, and then I started slimming on them and added more Lightning Axes. Thoughtseize is great in this list, not only for just grabbing any sort of hate. Can even hit, what is that? People don't play it all that much now, but it's the trap that's a graveyard hate play. What is it called? Ravenous Trap. Like, it even hits Ravenous Trap, whereas Inquisition won't, but that's kind of very niche. But the fact that Thoughtseize doubles as a discard outlet is great. There are some builds of this I moved away from even playing any bolts. I like the bolts again if we're going to play Torgar. I think they're great because Torgar comes in. If you guys don't remember this card, he is, when he enters the battlefield, up to 1 target player's life total becomes half their starting total, rounded down. So this either heals us back to 10, oftentimes, because we're the aggressor. Hopefully we're the aggressor. This is going to put our opponent to 10. And if we've done it off of Vengeance, which is what you're hoping to do, versus Footsteps or Unburial, you get to immediately attack them with a 7/6 after they've lost the life. So we're clocking them for 7 after we've drained them for 10. So a Torgar against some of these fast combo decks is actually going to kill them significantly faster than something like a Grizzlebrand. Again, this is kind of the talk between earlier. We were talking with Dry Bormir over, okay, what's better, Greentron or Bluetron? Well, it depends on what the metagame looks like, right? And so if the metagame is hyper aggressive, I think I'd rather just kill them. Grizzlebrand's grindier, right? Grizzlebrand is more flexible in what it does once it's on the field. Torgar is, it's going to kill a turn faster oftentimes, but it needs to not be interacted with. But also, with all these Pyromancers and Bloodghasts, we can just cast this pretty often for 4 or 2 mana. Because of his first ability, as an additional cost to cast this spell, you may sacrifice any number of creatures, and then this spell costs 2 colorless less each time you do that, right? Each time we sacrifice something. So whereas our deck will never hardcast a Grizzlebrand, at least it shouldn't. Even that last game where we had so many lands, I don't think we had 8. We were close to it, though. We never want the game to go that long. So I think this is neat. I like some of what's going on here. What else would I be interested to brew that's maybe a graveyard deck? I'd be interested to brew like a an Unearth. Oh, what is that archetype? Like a Conscription. That might be fun to brew too. Are you guys familiar with this archetype? There's it was when it was when that 3-drop with haste came out. If I can just think of the card, Thundering. What is it? Thundering something. That would also be like a fun red-black X deck. I'm sure one of you guys remember the name of that card, even though I can't right now in this moment. We're not actually getting an opponent very quickly, are we? Yeah. Do you know what card I'm talking about, Dry? I'm actually... Sorry, guys. I'm going to shift gears here. I've only got a little bit of time left with you folks, and I'd like to relax to another game, perhaps, for a moment. I am going to set a timer so I'm not late to help my friend. So, whoops, sorry. So, Hadean Tactics. Oh, they updated it. So let me show you this off of Steam. So, Hadean Tactics is a really, really cool list. Thanks for staying for the Magic portion of tonight's stream. We're going to hang out and do a little bit of after show now. This is where I kind of get a little more casual and just talk, hang out, and show you guys some games I've been playing that are kind of fun. Well, hopefully it's fun. So Hadean Tactics, it's like a it's kind of like a mixture of Slay the Spire deck building RPGs and also Monster Train. So you've got units that you're upgrading. You've got a deck that you're building and cards that you're playing. But the way that the game works is really fascinating. It's actually an auto battler. Interestingly enough. Sorry about that. Here we go. So the other character isn't out just yet. It's Dota Underlords with deck building. Yeah, it's an auto battler. You might like it, Dry. Might be up your alley. Okay, random relic, draft a unit, transform and upgrade 2 cards. Let's do this one. It's kind of the most fun, I think. Let's see what we got. Spiked, gain 15 spikes. Spikes is when a unit is hit, it reflects damage. It deals 15 damage. And then spikes decreases each time the unit is hit. There are ways to make it permanent, though. So we can do like a spikes deck. We also got Bone Break. This is kind of a decent common. 9 Fracture. They take... Each point amplifies the damage taken. And then each time they're hit, I think the fracture goes down. But I might be wrong. It might just be once they're hit. Oh, no, it's 4 or 5 seconds. Yeah, so they take a lot more damage when this is a thing. So we can do like a Might deck. We could go into a Spikes deck. So let's look at our map here. Kind of similar to Slay the Spire. The map is you want to be looking at like where are relics, where are the elites, where are the shops. And then at the end, there's a boss. So there's relics here. There's double relic here. Can we get triple relic? Doesn't look like it. There's this relic, but it... Oh, there's a double relic this way as well, but there's no... There's a shop. How can I get all the shops? And you also want to hit mysteries. Like there's one mystery down here. Second mystery here, but we give up a shop visit. I don't want to give up the shop visit. And then we could pivot this way. I'd like to hit an elite because they're relatively weak on the first map. So maybe we even go this way, hit the shop down here. Hit this relic, hit this elite on purpose. And then go this way or this way for another elite and then a mystery and a relic. This is kind of a convoluted path, so let's see if you guys can help me. So we're kind of coming this way. I'm looking at it backwards. This. Alright. So the first thing you do is you get to upgrade your leader. So this is the Inquisitor. I tend towards making him a Stalker. Stalker Alliance is Stalkers will jump across the board targeting the furthest enemy. This makes him a worse tank because he's going to jump to their back line. Perfect Strike, next attack is guaranteed a crit. This happens at the start of every round. This is really nice to have Stalker. These other things are a consideration. Inquisition gives you Seraphic, gain 50 might for every enemy that's affected by Groundbreaker. That's his ability, costs mana. I'm going to go Inquisitor though, and then we're going to go this way. You like the card battling, just not the auto battle part? I could see that, Jade. So let's spiked our leader. Oh wait, is it all units? Oh no, it's only one ally. If it says some cards will affect all the units in that area. Let's spiked might because we know he's critting. Armor break. Might. Fracture. Oh, I should have spiked there. It's free. He's dead, though. Alright, so at the end of rounds, we get to grab our gold, and we get a new card to draft. So we could take another spikes card. It's also a rare. See the blue symbol? Enchant is an area. Armory is actually very strong, so all my units in that area gain 30 might and 30 shield. But this feeds more into the spikes deck. Taunt is also important for a spikes deck, but it's a common. So we kind of need to make a decision here. Do we want just the arbitrarily stronger card, or do we want to build a spikes deck? Let's build the spikes deck. A couple of snakes. These are ranged, so you can see. All right, so spikes. Well, that's an easy turn. And you see that the spikes is going down, right? See how the stacks are going down? Who are they shooting? He's shooting him, but he's the one that's more alive. So let's do this. Kill that, actually. Nice. Easy peasy. And now I should be repositioning my team at the beginning. I'm being a little lazy here. Discipline. Deal damage. If the target is an ally, gains might. There's ways to build around this. Eagle Eye. The next 2 times an ally uses a skill, they also gain 100 mana. It's kind of interesting. Might just take this. If it has spikes already, double this effect. Yeah, let's just take that. Let's build a spikes deck. I haven't built that deck yet. Might be fun. So I have enough monies to hire a unit. I think that's what we're doing. There's nothing else I can do except remove a card. What is this guy? Light Preacher with Cure. Ugh. We really want tanks if we're building a spikes deck. I'm not really that interested in this, actually. Unit. Let's just get rid of a might or a dagger throw. Let's get rid of the dagger throw. Get rid of them both. Let's upgrade this other. So what does this upgrade to? All gain 35. I actually think spikes more important because it says if this unit already has spikes, double this effect. Or maybe not. Maybe this is better to upgrade first. We already have an upgraded spikes. Yeah, let's upgrade this one. This space is a draft or upgrade a unit. Because all I have is the basic Dragoors, let's draft and hope to hit. Okay, well, we're getting a Preacher anyway. We could skip it, but that seems ill-advised. So Dark Preacher or Mighty Preacher. So let's look at their abilities. Removes mana from enemies. Okay, this makes it harder for them to... Takes longer for their abilities to charge up. Curse also removes enchants. That seems great, actually. That's how the boss in the third world beats us that we faced before. So let's go with Dark Preacher. I don't think Mighty Preacher's all that great, but I could be wrong. Could be wrong about that. So this is a really cool card. I haven't really seen this effect in many deck builders. See, as I right-click on it, how the arrow is changing. You can actually change where it's pushing the unit. I can actually push these units into one another and they take some damage. Really neat. Really, really neat stuff. Alright, Cross Meringue. Deal 90 to a random enemy. Put this back in my hand. Transform all shield into might. Gain some health and deplete. First Aid seems like a great card. It's not going to take up much space in our deck because it has deplete. Depleted cards removed from this combat. That seems like a great card. I actually haven't seen that card yet. I think that's the first time I've seen that card. Every 5th card that's played, draw a card. That seems great with Thorns because there's 0 mana. Spiked, I mean. Spikes are 0 energy, mana. So let's go this way because we do want to hit elites on the first world. They're not too powerful. I mean, they are a tough fight, right? This golem's pretty big and nasty looking, right? This mud talus. But what do you do? Increases haste. I think I want to kill you first. Don't want him to go after my preacher, though. Well, but I want him to shoot the dog. Anyway. Oh, yeah, he's going to go after my preacher. That's what I was afraid of. Dang it. There we go. Such a handy little spell. It really is. Shield. Spiked. Might. Oh, he's going after my Dragoor. Interesting. Do we armor break or do we spike all? I think I might spike all. Spiked. Spikes. Break. Shield first aid. Nice. Lucky Stone. Every 7 cards drawn, a random ally gains 150 might. Gain 50 mana. That just makes you cast your abilities more often. Gain might. Select the heart and deplete. Draw. Dead. Skip. I'm not that interested. Mystery. It's a shop. Mystery shop. Oh, that's fun. Give a random ally unit 35 shield 2 times. Karma. Can't buy anything else. Might actually take this. It's not a terrible common. This is actually a pretty solid common. Going this way. I think we draft again. Alright. Warg or Doctor. Non-ephemeral ally is about to receive the final blow. Celestial unit takes a hit instead. So this protects. Gain shield. So this is kind of a tanky sort of style. Phobia, fear. Yeah. Whenever allies gain shield, they also gain might. Let's take the Warg. Swap him in. When a unit dies, they're not completely gone, by the way. Just so you know. A lot of thorns damage happening there. That's great. Let's first aid my Dark Preacher. Bone break this. Might. Critical hits from allies deal more damage. Cool. That works with our Inquisitor. Gain shield if they already have shield. Gain additional. Gain might and splash. Gain shield, draw a card. So this doesn't take up space in our deck. We're not really committing to it if we take the chainmail. Sure, it costs energy, but I like that this is just gain, draw. It seems flexible. You enter a dark and dusty laboratory. There are sharp and rusty instruments strewn all around. But something catches your eye. A glowing vial of bright-colored liquid. The scientist approaches you. Like what you see? Long time working on it. Really neat test subject. He holds up the vial with his sinewy, pointy fingers. This makes skin tougher than mineral. Sometimes, not always. Side effects? No worry about that, I think. Sounds safe. Alright, so we could add 5 coagulates to our deck. Gain shield, but then you have a remorse in your draw pile. Remorse seems bad. I forget what remorse is. I mean, remorse is a curse, essentially. I feel like every time I see this quest come up, I always skip it. I mean, 75 shield is great, but the remorse is pretty darn bad. Maybe if I was building a shield deck, which we've done before, like a shield slam deck where you convert the shield into something damaging. Spike all. Oh, if we kill this, we get a bunch of money. It ran away, I think. Or we killed it just now. I think we killed it. Start the battle with a gold blin on the board. If it dies, you gain 15 gold. I think we did get the money. I'm pretty consistently using this first aid when I draw it. I'm actually really excited about that. It's pretty exciting. You're attacking him, right? Looks like it. It's hard. It's sometimes hard to see. Yeah, they're definitely attacking him. That's great. Next attack deals triple damage. That's always good when you're playing Inquisitor, but I might take the Spiked because it is our build around. But this is an epic. It's hard to skip an epic. Trifold's just really good. I'm gonna take it. Let's take the Relic. Eye of Mephisto. Whenever an ally unit dies, gain 1 energy, draw 1 card. Rest or upgrade? Let's upgrade. What's Chainmail upgrade to? Wow, this upgrades really well. This upgrades excellently. What are our other choices? All attacks deal triple for 3 seconds versus just 1 attack. This is a strong upgrade as well, but I really like the way this upgrades. I think I'll still upgrade the Trifold first, or a Spiked. What do you upgrade to? You don't deplete anymore? I actually want you to deplete, I think. Give a random ally 35 3 times. So let's upgrade the Trifold. I actually really want... It's funny when you look at a card, you're like, wait, upgrading actually isn't necessarily better. It's good in the early game, but bad in the late game. We really want to ignore the snakes that spawn. It's really, really important that we just go for the boss in this situation. Nice. It's kind of who we want to be shielded. Break. I also could have spiked him. I will do that. The snakes are kind of killing themselves on the thorns, so that's exciting. I can't actually target my dude right now. That's like a little glitch in the game, by the way. Sometimes. So he is getting shot. Let's actually first aid you. Chainmail. Trifold on you. He's attacking you, huh? It's armor break. Still attacking you. And then let's bone break the boss. Armor break the boss. We fractured him so much that he took a ton of damage from us. Alright, party slot, energy. I feel like I always want to take party slot. Like, I don't think these other things are better at the start of the game, but I could be wrong on that. Bless or another first aid. This first aid's been great, but for 3 seconds, gain the stacked spikes as shield when spikes triggers. Holy cow, that's like the perfect build around card for us. It's also only 2 mana. And for 3 seconds, gain the stacked spikes as shield when spikes triggers. Wow. 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 I think there's really a spikes deck. I know we just haven't achieved it before. But you have to get this card, it seems. It seems too important to the strat. Alright, shop here, shop there. Relic here, relic there. I don't really want to fight the elites. I've noted that on map number 2, they're just like quite a bit more powerful and not usually worth fighting unless you have a really strong deck. If you have a really strong deck, by all means, go after them. So we could go mystery, mystery, relic, mystery, but that hits an elite. Okay, shoot. Is there a relic I could get that doesn't involve... There is. Okay, actually there's 2 relics I can get to that skip all elites, so we go this way. Okay, but it's a very specific route. It's this lane here that I have to get to, and the only way to get to it is from this. Alright, so let's upgrade our leader. So we could take another point in Stalker. I think you only really need 1 point in Stalker. Ooh. Yeah. I'm gonna take Relentless. Decay, okay. So we have the Splicate, but we don't have any thorns. Dang it. Shield. Maybe run you into you. Might. We're drawing cards because we have a relic that does that sometimes. Here we go. Spike all. Double the spikes. He's being attacked too, so I guess we could do that. Heal you. Trifold you. Chainmail you. That's a big number. Big numbers. Illusion, absorb, fracture. For 2 seconds, all damage received will be converted to shield. I think this works with our other card, because isn't there a card that says gain all spikes as shield? Damage that you receive is converted to shield. I mean, this is a good card. I might want this, even though we don't really do anything with it yet. It's just a good card. Splicate with spikes. Okay, so cool. So we could spike spikes. What about spike? Spiked. Splicate. Might. Wow, look at that. Look at that synergy. That was excellent. Probably the first aid. This has lasting implications beyond this fight. Chainmail. Oh, we don't have enough for the absorb. That's okay. It might be overkill for me to bone break Trifold. That still might be what I do, though, just to guarantee that he goes down. That was way too much damage for what I needed to do on that character, though. Shield, we didn't get the shield on him. I did that in the wrong order, but I think it's okay. Alright. Summon Wolf skill gives all of its allies might, shield, mana, ephemeral. The summon cards in this game are really strong. I just don't have a way to have that much energy yet, but we could grow into this card. Oh, I also am being an idiot. I had room for another unit. Let's do that from now on. Let's play our full party, shall we? That would be smart. Beholder. Like D&D Beholder. Alright, spike all and then spiked. He's gonna go down. Oh, maybe not. Keeping him up. You're attacking my leader. Oh, I thought he was going to go for the Beholder. He did not. Yeah, not enough energy to do this Flame Wolf yet. So this is going to be a dud for a little while. Oh, no, he is attacking the Beholder. So maybe might. And who are they attacking? You? You? Stun, splash. I'm not that interested in these. Skip. So we don't get this shop if I want this relic, right? If I don't want to have to go through this elite. We are a little bit on the damage side. Let's go this way. It's probably too important for me to do this. Ah, I didn't have enough energy for the... There, down he goes. Now, units that die, they're not Dunsky. They're not gone for good. Another few minutes. Alright. Um, I mean, I don't think we're going down here, but it didn't look great for a second there. Two units that went down. Gain 1 energy. So this does let us play the Flame Wolf. Maybe we should take it because it's bad to have dead cards. We could draft again. I do have a slot that I'd rather not have a Dragoor in. Also gives me a healed up unit. Okay, we could get a level 2 Dragoor. Do these also have Dragoor's Call? They do. I'm not that interested in a level 2 Dragoor. I'd rather take the Doctor, I think. This seems to be like the really good tanky ability. Like to go spiked. He's being attacked. Oops, I thought that was the other thing for a second. There's a lot of movement going on. Alright. Not bad. Add a card. Swap 2 units. This is a really fun spell. I just don't think we have room for it. Deal damage. 3 fracture, 3 seconds, 3 mana enemies. No. Gain shield if they already have shield. I'm going to skip actually. Oh, well, shell's actually pretty decent. Gain 50 if they already have shield. Gain another. So this is one energy for 100 shield. And shield tends to go hand in hand with thorns. They do tend to go together. If I could just keep this unit up, maybe I should try to do this. I don't know. This doesn't look great for us. All right. So let's trifold, bone break, and I hope that's where he goes. He should technically, because that's how it's designed. Nope, he went and tried to one-shot that guy over there. That's not great. That's not great for us. Look at all that extra armor. That was excellent. That was awesome. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Absorb impact. He doesn't have enough thorns for this to be worth, does he? Nope. Or spikes. We finally summoned the Flame Wolf. We did it. And then it wasn't important anymore. I took the first shell. Do I take the second one? I guess I do. Whenever an enemy dies, gain 3 money. Sweet. They're all so squishy. Oh boy. We're being carried by my leader. I mean, that happens. He is your strongest unit, so that's not uncommon. Chainmail. I don't know who he's going to go for, though. He should be going for this guy. But then they're just going to go down here and wreck my peoples. Yep. That was pretty easy to predict. But we have a bunch of energies. Hang on. So we do have another ally hitting the board. In some ways better than my others. Nice. And he's kind of carrying my team right now. Alright, so this is the last fight for sure. Gotta go do what I said I was gonna do. And fights can go long when you're playing like a shield, thorns heavy deck, right? The enemies have to kill themselves when they attack you. Alright, that's a good stopping place. Maybe I'll finish this. I'll probably finish this on my own time, to be honest, guys. But you've gotten to see a snippet of how this game works. So I'll save and quit. Check it out for yourself. Hadean Tactics. It's quite a bit fun. I can't wait for the other character to come out. But I will see you folks on the next Bruce by the Magic Guy. Hopefully we'll get to hang out and mess around with that deck some more. If you haven't joined the Discord, we do have a pretty fun little Discord here. Lists get posted and such, ideas. Oh, that was back when Uro was legal. So yeah, come on in. I see a few of you decided to join. Or Ursini, you decided to join tonight. Awesome. Consider hanging out in the Modern channel, perhaps. Here's that ridiculous combo elves list I was referring to earlier tonight. Jeff left some bits and pieces of his list for us. So yeah, it's a fun little Brewer's Corner. Consider, here's that link one more time. And I really got to go. I promised I'd help. So I will see you guys on the next Bruce by the Magic Guy show. And definitely consider, hang on. Socials, or is it socials? There we go, the socials. So there's our YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and such. Consider, checking out my content on those platforms and follow so you can stay up to date and not miss when I go live. All right, thanks, folks. I hope you have a nice night. I'll see you next time. Bye.